Hello my friends! So I brought this guitar home from a friend of mine to do some basic setup, and I decided to document the process just in case maybe I could help someone to set up their Strats as well. It's just my preferences, it's just the way I like my Strats to be. It's pretty basic stuff like string height and pickup height, and how I like to put the strings. I'm not going to go very in-depth about it because you can find millions of videos about it on YouTube. It's very simple stuff. This is a Squier Classic Vibe in Lake Placid Blue. Pretty cool color. And this one is from 2009, from the early run of the series. So let's get to it. I also recorded a little jam with this guitar just to show some sounds at the end of the video. Alright, so here is the guitar. Squier Classic Vibe 50s in Lake Placid Blue, which is a pretty cool color. Here the guitar is lying on the bench, getting ready, and without strings already, but I hadn't touched anything at this point yet. And here you can note that the pickups are very low, especially the bridge pickup, and the saddles too. The saddles were, I guess, at the lowest point. They couldn't go any lower than that. And they were kind of all over the place. So now the back side of the guitar, you can see 3 springs, and they are in this V formation, which I don't like. I use my springs straight, so I removed the outer ones and straightened them. Pretty cool neck. Pretty cool color of the neck too. So I started by adjusting the saddles. You can see that these saddles are very low. So I started by straightening them. Ideally, you want to have like a curve because of the neck radius. The neck is not straight, it's a curve. So your saddles have to follow that curve, which means that the middle strings are going to be a little higher and the outer strings are going to be a little lower. So when you look at your saddles, you want to see like this little curve going on. You see? But first I make them straight and then I make the curve. It also makes for a better visual aesthetic, I guess. It's not just function. Some people like to leave each individual saddle straight and make the curve saddle by saddle. I like to make them each individual saddle a little curved as well. I don't think there's a problem with that. Only the middle ones are going to be straight within itself. So I roughly put them into place by eye, just looking at them. Now, moving on to the pickups. The bridge pickup is the one that's got to be the highest. Why? Because of the string vibration at the bridge. It vibrates less, so it makes for a weaker signal. Also, the bridge pickup itself is the weaker pickup of the 3. So I set the bridge pickup higher than the rest, and then I follow a gradual thing. Like the middle one is going to be a little lower lower than the bridge one, and the neck one is going to be a little lower than the middle one. And you want to have your treble side of the pickup higher than the bass side because of how the pickup poles are designed to make the sound more balanced. Now, strings. I count 1, 2.5 posts after the string that I'm putting, and I cut the string there. I learned this a long time ago from a teacher, and I never stopped doing this way. For these vintage type of tuners, I insert the string, press it down, and start to wind. The first turn is going to be under, and the next turn is going to be over. This way, I reduce the break angle after the nut. Ideally, you want to have your string coming out of the nut as straight as possible. I think this reduces extra tension that you don't want to have on your guitar. I do the same thing for the A string. I count 2.5 posts, cut the string there, insert it, press it down, wind, 1 under, and 1 turn over, if that makes sense. For my B and high E strings, I do a different thing. I cut just a little end of the string. I don't measure anything. I just cut a little bit of the end. Then I insert it, press it down, and this time I'm gonna wind it while pressing down, and all turns are gonna be under. And I wind it this way until the end. I learned this a long time ago from an instructional video from Eric Johnson, in which he says he does the same thing, and I don't know the reason why. I just followed it ever since, and I think it works well. I've never had a problem, and my strings usually don't break. And I do the same thing for the high E string. I cut a little end of the string, insert it, press it down, and wind while holding the string down. So I'm going to move on to the next topic, which is after I finished putting the strings, I realized the action was still very high and the saddles were low. When you have your saddles as low as they can get and your action is still high, that probably means that your neck is sitting too low in the pocket, in the neck pocket. So here you can see how the action was very high and the saddles were low. So I ended up having to make a little shim for the neck. What is a shim? A shim is a little piece of paper. It can be any paper. You remove the neck and you put the paper on the pocket and screw the neck on again. This way you're going to raise the neck, the whole neck, and the strings consequently go down. So I hope you've enjoyed this little setup guide for Strats, and here comes the little jam thing which I recorded. Thank you, bye bye.